we are ranking the best midfielders in all of FC 24. Beautiful people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel. We have broken rank 1 foot champs debatable in the pine. We're starting with 5 tiers. We got more than 100 players coming in hot fire. If you have questions, use the comments. I will give you my choice if you give me the options. Whew, this new Frenchman looks dangerous. She might deserve to be broken. Or French woman, this French lady. You get where I was going, but her upgrade is looking significant. Bon Mati, team of the year, has to be broken. The 91, we're going into debate. We got a lot of options, and I'm sprinting through them. Pateas, let's take the team of the year, has to be at the top. The Greens, or the Green Pateas, I still think she should get rank 1. And that Barcelona side, I'm not saying it's Pep's Barcelona, but the women, holy moly, this grouping is unstoppable. Stats everywhere, upgrades, results, prime time selection. We are going to take the 91 Pateas. I think she's done too much to put into the debate. I don't want to do it, but clearly there's other options that have definitely surpassed. Allison, I'm going debate. I'm not in love. That new Baggio for the weekend, the skills, the pay, the bills, they coming in extra crispy. Love to see it. Barella still has box-to-box goodness, but he can't be past the weekend league, and depending how you play, you might even have him in the debate. I'm not happy about it. It's just what it is. Beckham, I would recommend as a center mid or some sort of central role. You get more out of him than playing him out wide, even though he's a winger by nature, and I don't feel that he moves or orchestrates like one of those attacking, precise cut inside, take on an opposition, or even a turn and burn winger. However, his passing, as you know, his crossing, phenomenal. Jude Bellingham, the team of the years have a theme. I wanted to make sure I stuck a second Jude on the list. The 89 you could play a weekend with, but he's probably getting pushed out, for being honest. Bergkamp, fantastic deal. I'm tempted to get him into rank 1 for now or put him into foot champs. The 92, though, you do not want in any of your rotations. My apologies. I don't make the rules. It is what it is. Bobby on the 92 for the weekend. And then we've got the brand spanking new Golazo, or whatever this new promo is. I don't mind the name. Got to be at least rank 1, but I am having already an early conflict. I'm already having some self-reflection. I'm thinking, do we need another category? Do we have to do some more dividing? If you are new, and I mean this sincerely, don't go anywhere. At the end of the video, we review everything, and there's always movements. Has to be. Bruno on the 90, I just not playing for me. He's not getting minutes. I like the 93 a lot. Maybe rank 1 there. I think he ended up performing at an upper echelon for sure for the weekend. I'm not sure that I'm inching him into rank 1 just yet. Just where I'm at. Çalhanoğlu. He's got that passing. It's precise. See, I know you could play the weekend with them. There might be better options, but this could be the theme. These are the best midfielders, and most of them should be certifiable in theory here for the weekend. They should be qualified. Casemiro is still a little bit funky, but now he has the upgrade on the skills and the weak foot. You're going to play the weekend with him for sure. Bobby Clark, I'm not sold on that upgrade. I know the stats look crazy, but I always think of it as newspaper numbers where there's some fraudulent activity. Before this upgrade with the showdown, he was a bronze. There's no track record. Debatable is what comes to mind. I'm not backing down, regardless of the stats. Pina, great SBC. Rui Costa, what do we do here? I'll put him into the debate, but is there really a lot of debate with Rui Costa? I'm not sure. KDB, I'm going to have just lower than where we currently have Bon Mati and Pateas and Jude Bellingham. I think a lot of you will agree. I'm having conflicts with the new Kevin De Bruyne because now you have the skills. And you might ask, does it really matter? I think it changes the item. I'm going to put them both into the same realm. I feel like the perp KDB is better than foot champs, but at the same time, neither of them are into that final broken. I'm telling you, when this is all said and done, we're going to end up with 7 tiers. 7. Frankie's getting active. See, Debinha can't fit into this. I mean, if you want to put her into the debate, we can, but it just, there's no placement. Del Piero, I'd love to get to the weekend. Maybe there's a weekend case, but it's difficult. Even Essien, who is the essence of a holding midfielder. I mean, he is on it. He will break up everything, but I'm not sure that he gets into rank 1 based on the players that we have available and the offensive characteristics, those traits, those expressions, the play styles, all of it. All of it. I have been anti-Foden for a lot of this year. This is the item that shifts or transcends and transforms his ability, but I'm still going to put him into foot champs for now. And you might say he's more of a winger. It's tricky. Some sort of centralized role also works, and it might be more suited for getting the most out of Phil Foden. Stevie G, do we put him in the weekend? He's not really the meta. I think we can all agree, and his long-term, if anything, he's going to go downward, not upward. But you could make that same case for most players. Kind of crazy, but I think Grace we're going to just put to the pine. She's not getting minutes over the players you have. Goretzka is not my style of player. He's always felt clunky, but now with the 5-star skills, and then he's got a body type that takes up space. He'll have the box-to-box goodness, but now we're getting a little more expression, which helps him with some of the dribbling and some of just the body type. We could sit here and read stats, but I'm telling you, there's a lot of room for interpretation when it comes to stats and movement and how players are agile or lack thereof. And if anything, the skills just gives them better footwork across the board. Grimaldo, we got the 88. I don't know if we should have the 89 in this. I really look at him more as a fullback. I know he's got a center mid, and I think the 88 is technically a center mid as a first selection position-wise, but if you're playing him into the mids, I think he's going to the pine. If you're playing him as a winger or a left back, then we could have a different conversation. Gundogan, decent value for the weekend if you're looking for options. Brand spanking new Rude Hullet. Has to be broken, and this is now the situation. We have 3 Hullets. What do we want to do here? I still believe the 91 gets there, and then I'm happy to have the 89 in more of a rank 1. He strikes fear. It's undeniable talent. There's an intimidation factor. Anyone who's played a bunch of FIFA or FC, you're not trying to deal with Rude Hullet around matchups. No chance. Haji, another quality grab or pickup from a value perspective. Kaká. What a man. What an icon. What an absolute ambassador of the sport. Probably getting caught up to. And this is what leads me into the context. The radioactive was getting a lot of minutes. I don't know if he has the same value now with those minutes. And we're going to bring in the 91 with the flashback. I'll give him foot champs. Keane, you're forcing it. I understand if you want to use him. If anything, if EA wants us to really put him into motion, there has to be a dramatic or a significant shift going forward, because from a statistical allocation and the position that he plays, he ends up being way too one-dimensional. And even from the one-dimensional roles, he's not good enough at those to make him competitive in the direction that we're pushing the series. A lot of words in that. I think Kessler could still get you for the weekend. Again, great value choice. I'm a big fan of Kimmich. Should he be in rank 1? I'm telling you, we're going to have at least a couple tiers getting added on late into this video. I can see it now, because there's certain players that might be better than just a traditional foot champs, but where it currently stands with some of these players, it's not right. It's not proper etiquette if I don't have them associated in holding on to value and up the ladder, up the tiers, up the tags if you're a hashtag follower. Shout out to Spencer FC. Golazo was an upgrade at the time, but you're just not playing him. It's better than his previous items. Toni Kroos bugs me because of the price, but this is still only based on ability. I'm going to put him into foot champs. I don't know if his prices dramatically came down, but he was so overpriced. And I love Toni Kroos, one of my favorite midfielders. And EA finally gave him some shift, but he just was released at a bad time for the market and availability and scarcity, all encompassing. Rose Lavelle, fantastic U.S. women's national team. But in-game, it hasn't came together. And based on that, I think Little's the same. If you want, we can move some of these to the debate. It's just there has to be lines. There has to be separation. There has to be margin. They're not taking minutes off of other players you have. That's where I bring up the pine. If you tell me they're in your starting 11, start typing away in the comments. Stanislav, same situation. He's going to the pine. He's not getting minutes over people. Even Locatelli, who has good stats, I'll go debatable, but I just, they're not in rotations. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, what a man. I think the fact that he was free, maybe we should throw him into the debate. He played a lot of games for our club. It just currently, present day, as this is being recorded, I don't think Loftus-Cheek is going to give you what you're looking for. He's not giving you enough, but I'm feeling friendly when it comes to that individual or this individual. Majri, super underrated, big fan, would highly recommend. Foot champs. Makaleli, where it stands for a holding midfielder, one of the best to do it. Will be a little one-dimensional as a holding mid, but definitely qualified for the job. Marquisio, He's back into action. Still not the same player that he once was. That's just the reality I think we're going to have to swallow. Marden's a lot to appreciate here. Has the skills with the Bills, and it's really cheap. I think she's like maybe 100,000 coins. Javier Mascherano, same situation. I just don't think you're using him. I'll happily put him into the debate. He is a classic holding mid. He's aggressive. You know what you're getting there. He has a defined role, but it's not where the franchise is moving. Lothar, the Madhouse, mainly because we know we've got the 93 knocking on the door. And for me, the 93 has got to be in that broken category. So we're going to, as a little reassessment, this is where he's got to be. Lothar is crazy in the mids. Sort of wild that the 90 overall is now potentially not even knocking on the upper echelon when it comes to mids. Messi has to go to the top. That's not a shocker. If you were able to get your hands on the team of the year for free, congratulations. Happy days. I'm happy for you. You took advantage of an error or a misrelease that I don't know if we'll ever see anything at that scale again. Gifting out 97s at a key moment as well around team of the year. The 94 Messi's got to join them. There can't be someone else. It's the same situation we were talking about with Kevin De Bruyne. They're in the same category. They're in the same tier. Messi now with the 5 and the 5, and there's a lot to love, a lot to appreciate. The 92 is kind of what we got started with in terms of a Messi bandwagon this year. I don't know if he's still rank 1, but he's still unique. Savic, I believe you should try him out. Modric with the 93, I kind of like him in rank 1. I don't know if it's just that he's done so much for the club. I've seen so many matches. I have a lot of measurables. Maybe that's giving me more of a bias. And then, of course, the price tag, super low comparatively to the stats that you're getting, the upgrades that have already happened. One of the greatest midfielders to ever do it. Modric, we're going to foot champs, but we might have a secondary combo. Musiala, I still feel like he should be good enough for the weekend. There hasn't been as much hype on Musiala, but just his dribbling and how he can push forward with a certain essence of ease. The only Neymar that you're going to be seeing, and I'm going to give him rank 1 for now. And the other Neymars, I think the Fire and Ice, I don't believe they can authentically play as a cam, even though they're technically items that probably would be best suited as some sort of center attacking mid. There's one rule when it comes to making these videos, is that the player has to authentically be able to play in that position, or in this case, positions. Oberdorf, I don't think she's fallen off, but she's more or less where she's supposed to be. Weekend league for sure. Odegaard, fun to use. Still a phenomenal passer, but he's been downgraded. Cole Palmer, I've seen too much of Cole Palmer. Not have him at least rank 1. Good versatility as well, up front, out wide. You could play him as a center mid. You could play him as an attacking mid. You might even play him as some sort of floating chase back midfielder, which has become a bit of a trend. Cole Palmer is in a group of players that would be rank 1 or better amongst multiple positions. Not many people like that, but he's one of them. Patricia for the weekend still. Personally, I'm not a big fan of Pedri. I think he's overrated. We're talking virtual pitch, not real life. If you play a lot of FC, I think you would agree. Just kind of undersized, not that physical, not the best body type. You're a little more limited for what you can get. Pele, only one place for the man, the myth, the legend, the icon, Pele. May he rest easy. What an influence on the sport. What do we do with the 95 here? I kind of want some degree of separation, but I also feel that Pele's similar to Messi, where if they're not broken, what category? I don't think he can come down a notch. This Petite, I would recommend. I prefer him as a center back, so that maybe is some sort of little insert or a sprinkle. I know this is a midfield video. You could play him as a holding mid or some sort of center mid. Pirlo made some sort of deal with EA. I don't know what to do with this either. I kind of feel like he should be in broken. I never thought that I would say when we're talking about the video game side or the virtual end that Pirlo would potentially be in broken, but you're going to have to pay for it. But he's so effortless on the ball, and then having the skill moves with the upgraded stats. Now he's playing some defense. And the way that the game has shifted with some of the passing and having these players that can find that extra little window, if you will. Pirlo has that juice. His 92, I'm going to go for foot champs. Ramirez, foot champs. I'm surprised he's not necessarily better. It's simply the competition is that far up. Royce reminds me of the footies days. Good time. We'll just toss him into foot champs. As expected, the majority of these players are at least good enough for the weekend. Declan Rice, I think you might be overpaying I've enjoyed using his items this year. Still not going to score goals for you. He's also not going to move the ball the same way with speed and precision with some of the turns. That's not what type of player he is. Rijkaard, the group's just gotten too good. Rodri, I'm going to put Rodri into Foot Champs. I love the Team of the Year. I actually don't see this version used enough. I've also played that Rodri as a center back, and I thought that he was phenomenal in that position. We could be revisiting, but for now, we're having him in rank 1. Rolfo, wow. Is that the best SBC we've had on the year? Maybe the best value, the best return of your investment? He's up to a 93, and the answer is kind of... And I saw a comment on a previous video, where do you play Rolfo? And the answer is just yes. A wing back, a center mid, a holding mid, an attacking mid, a striker, a center forward, a false 9. If you really wanted to, maybe you could even play her in some sort of agile center back role. So she's giving you the entirety of the pitch. You just got to be on it. Rudiger. If he was a center back, it's a different combo, but as a center mid or center defensive mid, I think we got to go Pine. Again, you don't have that facilitation. You don't have that natural feel of a midfielder. Ronaldinho to the freaking top. Come on. Broken and hands down broken. And it puts me like, what do you do with the 93 here? Do we downgrade the 93? It's kind of like Ronaldinho and Pele and Messi and Ruud Gullit. These guys have to have multiple items. Salah's been... spectacular. We're going to make an extra category or 2. We just might need to break this up a little bit. There's so much talent to deal with. Sal was one of the best SBCs that you could have completed this year. She's still playing for me every single week. Schweinsteiger. He's got some crazy calf muscles, just throwing it out there, but Foot Champs. Seydorf's going to get moved down to debatable. Ramos, for me, is also debatable. I know some people really liked him, but I thought we might have been forcing it a little bit. Alan Shearer is rough. I don't know if he should be included or not. I think we have to, just based on the item, but that's what it is. Bernardo Silva, I'm not taking him out of the weekend rotation. And I like the Thunderstruck item. It was a game changer. We saw him collaborate into multiple midfield roles. Socrates is sort of dumb nice. The Foot Champ's not right. Like, he has to be sitting at least somewhere in rank 1. Double 5-star at 6'4", 6'5", a bunch of play styles. Gives you too much. Schneider. We're going to take Schneider into rank 1. Not my favorite player, but... I know a lot of you love him. He has that double 5-star as well, which is now becoming part of just the norm. We'll put the 91, who's had a massive price reduction, gotten a lot cheaper, into Foot Champs. Stanway for Foot Champs, but she does have ridiculous stats. And I believe the price point is so low because not everyone is believing in some of those statistics. Also 5'4", 5'5". She's not very big, but that's not everything. I mean, this is still performance-based. Chouameni, top tier holding mid. I'm telling you, we need to have some combos. Tamori's got to go where Rudiger goes. It's the same situation. Center back, love him. As a midfielder, he just feels a little out of place. Yaya Toure, I think rank 1. Can't believe he's not in broken, but we got to do something here. Even the 88, who I actually see in action more often, I feel like he should be rank 1. For now, I'm going to put him into Foot Champs. I need a separation there. Valverde, we'll move into debatable. We'll take the Dutchman into debatable. We got the 2 Vieiras. I mean, the 88's definitely Weekend League certified. Maybe even rank 1. It's just wild, the upgrades. Again, I would actually argue Vieira as a center back is potentially the best of the best. This 93, if you put him up against the best center backs in the game, he would hold his own. We'd have a conversation. We're talking Virgil van Dijk, Team of the Year. We're talking Rio Ferdinand. We're talking Maldini. He's on that wavelength in that position, but same goes for the midfield. You're not getting through him. He's a brick house. Verts, I mean, I'd like to get him into the debate. It's not what it is. Even Shaka, this is not a bad item. We got too much. There's so much to display here. Xavi, I have to have in rank 1. What a glow up. That Xavi item's been just remarkable. Emery for the weekend. The Zico option for the SBC. I'm going to go weekend. I have to take his 93 somewhere serious. Is he broken? Is that a definite? Zico's nice with it. New icon, gets busy, a lot of extra cushion. I was going to say for the pushing, which doesn't necessarily make sense. Maybe a lot of extra expression. Zinedine, we've got the 92, which is good for the weekend for sure. The 96 has to go to broken. You guys might have questions with the 94 and the 95. If you want to ask me about them, go for it. I'm leaning on probably a rank 1 just to have a separation or a degree, something a little better than foot champs, a little below the 96. Maybe that's why they're not included, is just because that's the situation. That's how it would be. Xabi Alonso, brand spanking new. Tried to add in a few of the new players that I saw just got re-entered or added into the ecosystem or upgraded. Long term, you might still have some question marks. Xabi's just not built for the meta, but he's definitely good enough for a weekend, undeniably. And then last but not least, we have the American Dream, Clint Dempsey with the skills. Beautiful highlight tape. Happy to see him on TV talking about footy. Let's review. If you're new, the Pine typically doesn't move. If you want to make an argument for some of these Pine players to get into the debate, fine. I don't think we're going to see a Dabinia in any role, so I'm actually going to move her down. Rui Costa has so many stats, but he could really go down. He could. We've added extra broken and then the best. It's going to allow me to pull and move some players into broken that probably deserve to be there as well. Pateas, Jude, the new Hullet. I still think both the Messis have to be in that consideration. I'm going to bring Pirlo to extra broken. We'll put Dino here. You guys can see what I'm kind of up to. So a lot of these players are getting pulled. It's kind of dividing the broken category. And then it allowed me to take rank 1 up and maybe bring some foot champs up. And now Xavi can come into broken. Yaya can come into broken. Sawa, Rolfo, who... The pathway Rolfo's on. Like, what are we doing here? Especially with how many positions she can play. What are we doing here? And then now you can bring Rodri up. You can bring Kevin De Bruyne up. Charlton's got to move. You guys have seen what I've done here. A lot of movements. I will throw that out there. A lot of movements. I think Declan's going to stay put. Neymar, I think, is going to stay put. We'll leave Pateas. We're just getting a little more, some more options for people. But I'm going to pull Yaya up. Ramirez is going to move into rank 1. I hate Tony Cruz price, but that's what we're doing. Modric to rank 1. Messi to rank 1. Makaleli to rank 1. Kimmich's getting too many minutes. I really like this Majri. Would recommend. Essien's going to go up. I might leave Phil Foden alone, which could be unpopular. Understand it. Big fan of Baggio. Would recommend. If you know me, I take this very serious. Tchouaméni, lockdown holding mid. For sure. I can hear so many cases for foot champs players going to rank 1. I don't think there's as many cases for the best and extra broken. I just think it's very clear that some of these groupings of players. Man, Lothar is something. Pirlo, something. Bon Madi's dribbling is just so gross in the best way. Just filth. I just look at it. Would I rather have Pateas? Would I rather have Jude Bellingham in those positions? I think I'm going to leave it there. So we got Xavi in. We got a lot of... there's a lot that's lining up. There's a lot that's talking to me properly here. Socrates is an interesting player. Some of y'all will talk about Schneider or even Yaya Toure maybe being in another notch up. Cole Palmer's done a lot this year. Wow. So what a list. I mean, the midfield is deep. You look at this substance. I'm telling... I don't know if you want to trade with me. I know that you gentlemen will critique all day. Just let me hear your opinions on some players. I think we can all agree this is going to be somewhat controversial. I look forward to the comments. I will get back to everyone. And if you have questions around your own personal midfield, for example, which players you'd like to use, list them out and I will give you my opinion. And as always, we'll have a lot more content coming out ASAP.